Just a quick update. Here's the cat interrupting the update again. I'm trying to make some progress on it. I think a really big kind of bottleneck point is the BMS and exactly what I'm trying to do with this, or what exact motor and system I'm going to employ with this. I have the batteries, so I have 8 of these. Each one there's two. So there's 2 pouches in each one. So here's one of them disassembled. There's one pouch here. Let's see if I can take this out without killing myself. So, well, anyway, I don't want to take it out. So here's one pouch, and there's another pouch underneath. So I have 16 of these. So 16S is a 60-volt system. 15S, or sorry, 14S is a 52-volt system, and 14S is a 48-volt system. So the problem arises that because there's not a lot of US-based BMS, so what I wanted to do, I kept changing between, like, a 60-volt e-bike, which I actually am not going to, a 60-volt hub, which I'm not going to do because it's too expensive and it takes too much time. And you gotta think about it this way too. In the future, I want to do at least a 72 volt, maybe even a 100 volt or 80 or a 90, whatever volt system. Um, how can I utilize these batteries to do something like that, right? And well, which is kind of stupid because I'll show you that I'm not actually using the correct BMS. But anyway, so the point is, okay, stop. Cat's like messing with the electric tape. So the point is, I just need to figure out what system I'm doing. So this is what I was originally going to do, and you guys can do this too. The problem here is that a lot of e-bikes there's just no e-bikes out there, kids, and the ones that are out there are super overpriced. But e-biking on Amazon, they still have really good deals and reasonable deals. I was gonna do something like this. This is a 48 volt system, but it also takes 52 volts. I was gonna use this, and then basically use an LCD. Use this has variable PAS, and so it'll have the PAS system. But then I was thinking, okay, so I was gonna hit the button on this one, but the 7S, so this will require 2 7S packs, which I measured in the Dolomite to be able to fit on the top tube and in the triangle. But the problem was that when I wanted to hit the button for the 7S, which was 2 of them, it was already sold out. So that's a big problem. And I don't want to wait for it to come from China, which will take even longer. So they still had the 4S available, so I went ahead and just hit the 4S, which means that, so 4S is, think about it, so there's 20S, which is 72 volts, so I can always, so I bought 5 of these just in case I want to go to 72 volts. So so I don't have enough cells for 72 volts, but I can easily buy more. But anyway, 20S is 72 volts. 16S, which is what I have, is 60 volts. And then if you go 10S, that is the 36 volts. And what am I saying? Oh, and then 14S, no, not 10S, 12S is 36 volts. Wait, 25, 16. So 12S, what exactly is 12S? I'm getting this mixed up. So, 1 second. Anyway, the point is that I'm going to do a 60 volt system. And so 12S is 43 volts. Yeah, so it's I can either do a 36, 60, or a 72 volt with this, a perfect 72 volts, a perfect 60 volts with this system. So I decided to go with 60 volts at the moment. And the other thing about this is that this thing only really goes like 30 miles per hour, maybe 32, 33 if you're on the right road conditions. And for me, like, to build something like this, from a battery, it's just not really worth it just to go 30 miles per hour. So I'll be investing like 400 was what's the kit like 387, like close to $400, right? Just to go 30 miles per hour. That's not quite. And this is max speed too. So, and this has like a 20. What's this? A 20 amp, 30 amps. More. Let's see how many amps is the. A 30 amp controller, right? It's just not really. I thought about it a little more, and now that I think about it, it's kind of just not worth it to do that. And there's no way to upgrade this kit to like 72 volts or 3000 volts, right? 3000 watts. Wow, it's really coming down outside. I'm glad I went for a bike ride right before this. Um, yeah, so there's no way to upgrade. So I decided not to do that. And so now we're looking at mid drives, which I prefer a little bit more just because of the weight distribution. So there's two really options. There's the BBS HD, which is like 340 base, and it's currently not even available. And then there's a Cyclone. So I have the Cyclone ready. The don't the BBS HD has variable PAS. It's built into their interface. The Cyclone actually does not come stock with it, but I think you can set a PAS. At least you can set like two different systems. You can have the throttle to be like full power, up to full power, and then you can in the app you can actually go and set the PAS levels, which is contrary to what Luna said. Luna said that there's only one PAS level, and I think that's only one because they don't have the Bluetooth programmable interface, which I have on my phone. So you can actually set the PAS level. So I'm hoping to just set the PAS level at like 25 miles per hour, or 22, 23 miles per hour, right? Pedaling, and then have the throttle just to if I want to go a little faster, I can just hit the throttle to do that. And I think that is fine too. I don't really need all the different levels. It would be great to have the different levels of the PAS, just for um, different situations. But I think that's okay to just have the one PAS. But then I gotta be really careful too, though. And okay, I still need. I mean, I'm still gonna be new to the PAS. The only question is like, okay, so I'm at a stop. How do I actually not kill myself in like, you know, when you have to go in between cars and stuff like that, and delicately. So there has to be a good way. Obviously, when I ride with the Cyclone and the PAS, I'm gonna have the Blue app or Bluetooth app open. I'll have an additional battery for the phone, just so I can use it. So anyway, the way I'm doing it now, in my mind, is I'm going to take the motor off of the. I'm either gonna. I need to check out the pricing, but I'm either gonna take off the motor from the old bike and the controller, and then get a new mount. So this is where I prefer to buy it, not from Luna, Sick Bike Parts. So I'm thinking at minimum I need to buy a new mount, and then I need to buy a new bottom bracket for the fat tire bike, and obviously some spacers and whatever like that, and lock rings. Also, I want a new throttle too because mine's cracked, and it has like I'm just using a piece of plastic at the moment over it, which is kind of stupid. So I need to figure out, and I also obviously I need a PAS adapter. So I'm hoping it will be like around $100 in total. So the mount, the PAS system, and well, I guess I need a throttle too. Well, excluding the throttle, which isn't actually part of the conversion, and and the axle. I'm hoping it's like around $100. So that'll save quite a bit. Um, so yeah, so that's the update. So here's the batteries, and let's just. Well, I can't really test the voltage, but obviously this is the positive end right here, right? See if I can do this with one hand. Positive, negative. well, I can't really. Anyway, that's the positive end. This is the negative end, and I'm gonna have this is two in here. So each 4S. So this is gonna be a 4S 20 volt 60 amp BMS. So I'm throttling the batteries themselves, which isn't bad. 60 amps at 60 volts is around 2500 um, rated power, so which is more than enough. Because I'm not really that much of a speed bug anymore, but maybe I will be. But anyway, so and these batteries are capable of delivering 180 amps continuous. So I'll be throttling it down basically, which is okay, because the BMS is only 40 amps anyway. Um, right? Yeah, 40 amps only. Anyway, so that's the plan. Once I get I'm thinking sometime in mid-July I'll be done. Um, so now today I'm going to figure out what the pricing is. Like if it's, okay, let's think about this. If it's 100 and if it comes out to be like $150 or more for the kit, right? Am I willing to spend an extra 200 just to get everything brand new? I don't know. I gotta think about that. And originally, I was also thinking about the BBS HD, uh, which isn't a bad choice, but it's literally look at it, it's like $650. Just for the base kit. I mean, it looks really clean. Um, and in terms of like upgrades, ERT Technologies has a upgrade system for it, which you can bump it up to 3,000 watts. But at the moment, I think it's like $300 for that upgrade kit, which isn't bad to do something to upgrade it. So yeah, we'll see. I doubt I would do this. I just want to make it have it. So the idea behind the bike is I like to be able to upgrade it eventually. And I think for that fat tire bike, probably 3,000 watts is the highest that I want to go, because it doesn't really have that good of brakes. It has, fortunately, it actually has disc brakes, but it's not as good as like something that's upgrade. I guess I can upgrade it. It doesn't have a front fork. It doesn't. It's a hardtail, so it doesn't have rear suspension. The seat is really bad. But I think it's good enough. It's a good enough bike for a 3,000 watt system. That's what I'm saying. Like I'm not gonna put a 3,000 watt system on like a $50 used bike or something like that, right? Um, so anyway, that's the update. Hope everyone's doing well. I think the BMS will probably get here sometime around next week. And also, for the fire that I had, I think I know why. I think I know why why the why I had the battery fire. I think the reason why I had the battery fire was because these batteries are 20 amps, and I've literally just kind of pushed them as much as they could all the time. And I remember it popped when I accelerated, and I think I was just drawing too many amps out of these batteries continuously, hitting the amp limit all the time. And maybe the BMS actually fried on one of them, and then when I tried to draw more power from that system, maybe it popped the batteries because the BMS was fried or wasn't protecting it correctly. And yeah, that could be it. I think, and that would never happen if the batteries themselves were actually capable of um, producing the right amps, right? So I think that's the reason why. I hope that's the reason why, because these batteries are not extremely dangerous, but they're so this is like 3.4 kilowatt hours. The one I had was quote unquote a 1 kilowatt, but probably closer to 600 watt hours at that point. So I'm like almost 6 times as powerful. So yeah, I can't fuck up. Like if I mess up, like that's a bike going up completely and something extremely dangerous situations. But anyway, That's the update. Next week the BMS should be here. I'm gonna try to wire up one of the BMSs. The bike itself, the way I'm going to style it is after the Mustang GT, because this is actually the colors of the Mustang GT. So let's just take a look at the colors real quick. Yeah, see that blue? So if I type in Mustang GT blue, blue and orange. Yeah, so something like, basically something like this. Whoops, like that. It's like that color, right? It's a little bit brighter, um, but yeah, it's similar to that color. So and I already have orange paint. Um, and I'm just gonna get this one right here, where it's closer to that. See, like that. So it will be in this type of situation, and maybe I can get a Ford, or maybe I can get, yeah, maybe I can get a Mustang icon or something like that on it. That would be pretty awesome. Anyway, that's the update. Hope everyone's doing well. Talk to you later.